All right, we're back after 20 years. Here we are.
20 years. We are back here at the Amici podcast for you. It's been about a month since we've done an episode.
Yep.
We were on a little hiatus because, in case you haven't heard, those of you, I had COVID, and I came down with that, so I was out for a bit.
Yep.
You, Johnny, you started a new job.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been crazy for both of us, and the holidays and everything that goes with that. So it's good to be back and super excited for who we have coming on the show today.
Yeah. Today we have a couple that I met through Instagram. Actually, they go by the name of Blackmore and Tracey Schut. Tommy is a videographer and Tracey is a photographer. They are a couple. They've been dating for some time now, and they are also business partners. They create dope fire content together, and they are now launching their own new company called Blackmore Media. And I guess they do a variety of commercial brand video content, some weddings as well. So I came across Tommy. He came across my radar when we met through Instagram. It was some group through some mutual guy that we follow. And I checked out his page, gave him a follow, and he followed me. And we've just been in touch here and there ever since, just commenting on each other's work and, just keeping in touch that way. And then he listens to the podcast. So then I said, hey, do you want to come on?
That's awesome.
So
it's so cool how, I know you and I were one off on a tirade about social media before, but it's really cool how people can connect in these ways and then build personal relationships based off of that.
It's so cool, man. If it weren't for that, we probably never would have met.
Yeah.
We never would have crossed paths. So I love that. I'm all for just how social media just does that. Bringing people together from all across the world. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you find that you actually have a lot in common with them.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's wonderful.
Totally, no doubt.
Yeah. So we're going to be bringing to you guys a conversation that we just had with them. A great conversation. We talk about more or less the idea is talking about starting a business, running a business with your significant other. Mm-hmm. So your significant other / business partner. But we go into other stuff. Yeah. We just have a full on we went for an hour and a half.
Yeah, we dig deep in this one. This was so much fun.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, super great to finally meet him and have him on.
Yeah, It was wonderful, man. Yeah.
Cool.
All right, well here it is with Tommy Blackmore and Tracey Schut. All right, so joining us from Woodstock, Ontario, we have Tommy Blackmore and Tracey Schut joining us. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Doing great. Thanks for coming on and talking with us. Our first ever Zoom guest.
Yeah, good luck on the editing.
Yeah.
It's going to be great editing.
That'll be fun. Cool. So you two, you have been doing videography, photography, respectively, for some time now, right?
I've been doing it for 2 years.
Yeah, and I've been doing it for just over a year now.
Okay, wonderful.
Officially.
And now you just started your own company together, Blackmore Media, right?
Yep.
You're working together. Cool.
Launching that in the new year.
Yes.
So we should establish to the audience, in case they don't know, is that you guys are a couple.
Yes.
Yep.
You guys are also business partners.
Yep.
How long have you guys been dating? Let's start back from how you guys met. Well, how's that?
Okay. Oh, that's a fun story.
Like a dating show.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want me to tell it or you?
You always tell it better, and the story's always line. It's not as exciting as you might think, but
Okay, so officially we met on Bumble. That's the short version, but the fun version. So So he was on Bumble and you paid for it, right?
I got tired of aimlessly swiping and the anxiety you have is oh, are they gonna match? Are they gonna match? Are they gonna match? So I was like, you know what? Screw it. I have too much stuff to do. So I paid for the 1 month, and I'm like, hey, whoever likes me, I'll see it. Then I'll just go from there.
Yeah. So then I was on Bumble and like, I don't know if you guys are or like your experience with Bumble or anything, but basically like you set your like restrictions or the whatever you want, like you what are they called?
Like filters?
Yes, filters. Yeah. That's it.
He knows. He's on it.
Yeah, there you go.
He knows.
I've used it a little bit.
I'm fairly experienced in that topic.
So yeah, I set all my filters, and I was like, okay, I'm not willing to compromise on these certain things. And so then I like had my radius, because obviously I don't want to date somebody like, you know, across the country. And and I ended up swiping no on like everybody that was in my zone. And so at the very end, it says, you've swiped through everyone and there's nobody left. So you need to basically lower your standards and change your filters, and then we'll give you more people. So I was like, okay.
The way he looks right now.
So the only thing I was willing to compromise on was age. So I am turning 30 in January. At the time, how old was I? 28, I guess?
Yeah.
And I had my filter set to like 1 year younger than me. And so I was like, okay, well, I don't want to go any older. I don't even remember how much it was, but I was like, I don't want to go older than that. And so I was like, oh, I'll just put it down 1 year. And I thought, oh, I've never dated anyone like 2 years younger than me. That just seemed like so far away. And then I changed it. And then the first face that popped up was this beautiful man right here.
What's funny is like the selfie front profile picture was like in this studio with the aperture light too. So it was like a little glam shot too.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then so with Bumble, you have 24 hours. The girl has 24 hours to reach out and like message. And then if you don't, your match expires. So I was like, okay, I want to make sure that like I really hook this guy, you know? I got to come up with something really creative. And so I'm thinking on it. I go to work and I'm like, okay, it's good. I got time. I'll think about it. I'll come up with something really crafty and he'll message me right back. And because I'm sure he gets lots of matches. And so then I got a notification that it said, you have 4 hours left. And I was like, oh crap. Like, oh no, my match is going to expire. I got to like, and so I started panicking like, oh, I haven't thought of anything. And so all I said was like, hey, what's up? And he immediately replied. And I was like, dang it, I should have just like said that right from the beginning. That wasn't very creative at all, but it got him. So then, yeah. From there.
Now we're here on the podcast.
And now we're here.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Love it.
So he, on his profile, was looking for a second shooter. And at the time, so he's like, I'm a videographer, looking for a second shooter. And I was like, oh, that's cool. But like, I wasn't really into photography or anything at that time. And so he... like my Instagram bio was Shooter. My last name is Shoot. So my nickname was Shooter. And so I was like, oh, well, that's kind of cool. Now officially I am his second shooter.
Wonderful.
And the rest is history, folks.
History.
Awesome.
I had to go turn down the audio because you were like...
I'm like yelling. I get very excited about this.
Like I could just see it almost peaking and I'm like, uh-oh.
I'm having trouble hearing you. Sorry.
My watch says I'm having trouble hearing me. Okay, sorry.
Anyways, yeah, that's how. Then we met up for a walk at our local park called Pettock, which is a man-made lake. It's really gross, but
It's awful.
it's the nicest place around town. But yeah, I met her for coffee. I brought her a nice coffee, and she also had a dog. So if I wanted her, I had to have the dog too. So yeah, do you want to tell about that first time of us meeting?
So, my dad has Parkinson's, and so he's got, like, he shakes a lot. I was so nervous to meet Tom. Like, we had been talking, he was sending me video chats, and so, like, I had already kind of known him without actually meeting him. And so when I met him in person, I was like, man, I really don't want to screw this up. Like, I'm so nervous. And so he handed me this iced coffee, and my hand was just like shaking so much. Like the ice was rattling in the cup. And so I had to set it down. And I came home after my date and I told my dad, and I was like, man, I was shaking so much. He's like, yeah, it sounds like you were shaking more than I do. I was like, oh, God.
Runs in the family.
Yeah.
Then a couple dates later, I just asked her parents, I'm a little old school, I guess, asked her parents if I could date their daughter, and like, yeah.
Aw, that's cute.
Nothing wrong with that.
Just trying to do things right, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Totally.
As respectful as possible, but yeah, here we are.
Are you older than Tracey, Tom? Or are you?
I am 27, so she is
I'm 2
29.
years older. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm 27 too, actually. Well, I will be 27 in a couple weeks. Yeah.
All the best filmmakers are.
I guess that's a good sign then. Yeah.
Sweet.
So, okay. So when you guys met, you kind of already had it known that you were both, maybe not full time, but you were pursuing the filmmaking and photography already, right? Like.
So he was, I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was always kind of an iPhone shooter. I would just I loved taking, photos with my phone and whatever. My dad is a nature photographer and he would do storm chasing and stuff. And so he does a lot of cool wildlife photography. And he always asked me and invited me out to shoots. And I was just not interested in sitting in a forest for 4 hours waiting for a bald eagle to land in its nest. And so I just never really picked up a camera. Even though I was around it a lot. But then I kind of felt like every time I took a picture with my camera or with my iPhone, I always felt like there was something that my camera couldn't do that I wanted it to do. And then there was one time we went on a trip and he took his camera with him. And this was the first time that he brought his camera along to any trip that we've done. And I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. I like it. And then I bought a cheap little Canon and here we are. Now I have an A7 III and I love it.
What Canon were you shooting on again?
It was the SL3.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice. And you went from that to the A7 III?
Yeah, very quickly. I went from Canon. I was shooting the SL3 for a month and a half, and then I was like, it's not doing what I want it to do. It can't even keep up with me. So then I got the A7 III.
And it's funny too, because we when she wanted to buy the A7 III, we found it on Facebook Marketplace or Kijiji.
I don't remember. Oh, Facebook probably.
Yeah, so it's Facebook Marketplace, and we tell the person that we're selling the Canon to and the person we're buying the Sony from, we got them to meet at a subway station in Toronto, and they we gave camera, they gave cash, we gave cash, we got camera.
Yeah.
So it was just super funny that we all met at the same place, and there was this awkward business deal of cameras.
That's cool.
It's a lot different than a little toy camera, basically.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely.
Because you know how much of a pain in the ass crop sensors are.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. They sure are. My first camera was the 80D, and that was a crop sensor. And yeah, no, I just wanted better low light performance. I also wanted 4K. The 80D didn't do that. So those are my big reasons, I think, why I switched not only mirrorless but to Sony, because Sony's pretty much unanimous as far as video performance where it's at, So
yeah, and the autofocus is just stupid good.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. Now Tommy, when so Tracey says her dad has experience with photography. So was there any creative, particularly filmmaking people in your family growing up, anything like that?
Not really. I'm a real black sheep in my family. We all get along great, but my mom doesn't really do much. She just she loved her Elvis Presley days, and my dad raced NASCAR online, and my brother played a lot of Xbox. So me, I always had my skateboard. So I was always little Tommy in the skateboard everywhere he goes. So I was, I guess, just filming my friends skate with our phones and all that stuff. But nothing really too creative. 2 years ago, my friend who owns this entire building that we're in right now, I was working as a welder on the weekends, so full-time weekends, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 12-hour shifts, and I had 4 days off. So I was like, hey man, I'd love to get, because it's a health food store and I like the gym and all that jazz. I'm like, hey, would love to help out. How can I get in here? He's like, well, we are looking for a videographer. So I'm like, I don't really know what that is, but I'll learn. So I sent him a crappy little iPhone video on Apple Clips, sent him that. Then he's like, hey, let's talk. Then he kind of like introduced things slowly as we went. So like, he's like, yeah, get this little gimbal. It was like the Zhiyun Crane 2 for iPhones.
That was my first gimbal. Yeah.
So I got that. Then he actually bought Final Cut Pro for me. So like it's all write-offs for him, right? It's like a media department, so he just kind of writes all this crap off. And so, yeah, we made the first video. Then he had an A7 III already. Then he gave that to me to start shooting. And he's got all the G Master lenses and all that stuff. So I was kind of like learning how to use it, learning audio, then getting the aperture light, learning how to use lighting. So it's kind of, when COVID first hit, I didn't work for 6 months. We closed down for 6 months. Then I bought Parker Walbeck's full-time filmmaker course.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I binge watched that for probably like 5 months. Learned everything every single day. Then Parker's been like the biggest catalyst in my learning experience. But long story short, no one in my family was creative.
Yeah, the pandemic, I think, was a big game changer for a lot of us.
For all of us. Yeah.
It really, like, at least it sounds like for you, it definitely does for me. It set my career kind of in stone as far as like, yeah, I'm going to pursue this. Maybe I'm not like full-time just yet, but I am going to go for this. And so yeah, it was interesting how it played out. And similar to you, I didn't buy the full-time filmmaker course, but I was like diving into like other courses and just binge watching tutorials, and also just, learning from other more seasoned videographers, filmmakers, and just learning by my mistakes. It's funny that you say that like skateboarding kind of got you into shooting video, because I've talked to so many people, or at least like heard of people that they got into this whole thing because they were skateboarding as kids and they wanted to film stupid videos of them falling off their ramps and whatnot. So yeah, that's cool. It's crazy how common that is.
Yeah, exactly. And the reason why I got those courses as well is because like I don't really care about your story blocks ads. So like I'd rather get a course that doesn't have all the fluff and it just goes right into the content. So it's like, I know these courses are like $700, but like, well, Canadian, but they are so worth it. And you might think it's a plug for them, but like I do full-time filmmaker, and I help out at my church too, and they're very modern as well. So like they have all the lights, they have 6 Blackmagic cameras running around. It's a whole production, and they have learned cinematography with Jacob Owens.
Yeah.
So we have that's really helpful. Then she just got Lost Creator Academy.
Okay.
Christian LeBlanc.
Okay. Yeah. I only heard of that because I heard you talk about it in one of your videos. I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, Lost LeBlanc. He's from Vancouver, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's the guy. He's like the destination travel videographer, like the guy.
Yeah.
So that's what really got us up to speed. And that's the goal right now, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny that you were mentioning how the pandemic like really changed a lot of things for people, because I did my master's in social work, and that was what I wanted to do. That was the direction I was going to go. I was working at Children's Aid or Child Protective Services, and so I was doing that, and then I changed careers a little bit and I went into healthcare. So I was doing I still am doing social work kind of stuff in the healthcare field. And then the pandemic hit, and my work just went crazy, right? Like, because I'm working in healthcare now, and I work for a home care company. So basically, I'm just arranging for people to get out of hospital and get their care at home instead of at the hospital. So during the pandemic, it was crazy with like, just needing to get everyone out of the hospital and get home. And I was like burning out like crazy. And then I got this photography thing under my belt and I was like, oh, okay, maybe this is, because like I never really had any hobbies or anything that I wanted to do other than like my career, which was social work. But now that I have photography, I'm like, oh, this is good. I really love it. And I think about it all the time. Like, that's what I want to do. So it's interesting how, like, my path I thought was going to go one way forever. Like, I always thought I was going to do that. And then now it's, like, completely opposite. And I'm probably not going to use my degree anymore.
Going off of that, when did you guys realize that you wanted to be entrepreneurs for the first time?
Oh, that's a really good question. I don't know if I really did, to be honest.
First of all, I just hate the word entrepreneur because everyone's an entrepreneur.
Everyone's an entrepreneur, right?
Entrepreneur.
Hashtag entrepreneurship.
Yeah, every multi-level marketing person's an entrepreneur or business owner.
Small business.
Oh,
Yeah.
No, I agree.
but not to take away from what your question is. I guess probably a couple months into the whole video thing, because it's like you realize that you can make some pretty decent cash with video and the media side of things, only if people see the bigger picture. Because I'm not sure how many times you've seen this, guys, that like you film something really epic for someone, but they don't tell the difference between an iPhone footage. Even though your footage is amazing, you can tell like yours is in 4K and everything looks great, the bokeh's beautiful, and you got this crappy little iPhone video. They still can't tell the difference. They don't see good and bad, even though there's like clear difference in level of skill. But that's the hardest part. It's like trying to get someone to pay $1,500 for a video when they're like, I can just pay $10 an hour and get it with your iPhone.
Right.
Do you find that a lot, like even now when your business basically is off the ground and you do have like paying regular clients? I see you guys on Instagram. You're always killing it. You're always like busy. And like, do you like have to deal with people like that?
Yes.
Wow, man.
There's we've had a couple things of just like they'll reach out for a quote. We give them like, if it's something that we know or it's a business we believe in, we'll give like a pretty honest discount. And we'd get an email back saying, hey, I found someone who will actually trade services, or someone that will do a 5-hour shoot for a beer. I'm like, well, I can't compete with that, so I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those people too.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like him and I were just talking about this like this past week. There's so many people that really don't realize the value you bring to the table, and you have to, you have to obviously make that clear, especially when you're consulting with people. So
Yeah, absolutely.
But in their defense, they don't see the behind the scenes. They don't see all the time we've put into master the craft. They don't know how much our laptop costs, our cameras cost, like charging all the batteries, formatting the cards,
the
and
time to write the contracts.
Yep.
Like everything like that. So it's not their fault, but it's like, come on, I'm not going to go up to your sandwich shack and be like, hey, I don't want to pay for this, but I will mention you in a story.
Yeah, it's the same idea.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
We're finding that a lot of people say support local businesses until they support local businesses.
Yeah.
Makes
sense.
That's a hard thing too, because we don't have every single business in this town following us, but we're expected to follow them.
Right.
Yeah. That is rough. I really am sorry to hear that, because like, there certainly is a lot of that here in the States. I mean, maybe it's just my own observation, but I feel like because like since the pandemic, and there have been, I know we don't like the word entrepreneurs, but there have been I think a big plethora, a big boom of entrepreneurship, people starting their own businesses. And I think because of that, there has been this sort of new, this higher respect for that. And people, I think just now, as opposed to a few years ago, people are less likely to haggle or take advantage of freelancers like that. But I mean, at least recently in my own experience, I haven't encountered many people like that lately. I don't know if it's because of the area I'm in, or maybe if it's because I've just distanced myself from those people for a while, and have kind of I don't want to speak highly of myself, but I've kind of elevated to people that recognize and see the value in it. And like I said, I'm not trying to take away like from like where you guys are, but
not to brag or anything, but Mark's a big deal.
No, that's not what I'm trying to say. But
we get it.
I'm just trying to say, like, I don't know if maybe in Canada, like, do you think in Canada that's a different dynamic? You think?
I think. I don't know. I think it depends, because we do have a friend who is doing like this media business full time, and it's pretty lucrative for him. I think it's our area. So we're like, Woodstock is a small town, but then it's the biggest town of all of the little towns surrounding it. And there's not really, I don't know if there's like the market, the money, the desire to have, like, because it's a very interconnected, small, tight-knit community. So everyone knows everyone. So the way that we could justify like bringing video or, product photos or anything like that, oh, I have a buddy that does this, or, oh, everyone knows me already. Like, I don't really need to reach out and, remarket everything. So like, we've definitely been reaching out to like the larger cities. They're more saturated with more creators, but it's also to like getting our name out there, which is part of the reason why we wanted to start up Blackmore Media, just to kind of legitimize it. Because once you have a name, instead of just like, oh, here's Tom Blackmore, or hey, hit up Tracey for photos, now we can say, oh no, it was Blackmore Media that hired us, or like that is doing our content. So it kind of legitimizes things. And sometimes you gotta kind of, I don't want to say like pull the wool over people's eyes and kind of trick them into things, but it's true. Like if you approach a business and you say, hey, I'm a photographer and you can email me at this and this and this at hotmail.com versus email me at info@blackmoremedia.net. It kind of brings that legitimacy to the front, So yeah, that's I would say the main reason why we wanted to start Blackmore Media is just like to legitimize and like consolidate everything.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that was definitely a very lucrative move, I think. I'm glad that you guys are doing that. It's going off of that. Like, you guys know KY the Creative, Toronto? Yeah. That's actually how I heard of you, by the way.
He organized that little group chat, and there's a couple people that I've still stayed in contact with, you mainly.
Yeah, I kind of slide in his DMs here and there, and we've been on like calls.
He's just too big for us now, man.
He's too big for us now.
Like he's shooting with Mark Bone and Greg O'Gallagher and all those guys and Will Tenney.
Yeah,
like,
he's doing good.
He's like filming with Gymshark now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's excelled. He's shot with I think what's his name, Christian Films, the guy in Miami. He's shot with some powerlifting stuff. And
I'm just happy he came back to Sony.
Yeah, that's
all I care
right.
about. No, and go off what you said about Kai.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's.
I don't want him kicking my butt if he calls me.
Yeah, not Kai.
His name's not Kai. It's KY, not Kai the Creative.
Yeah. No, I just brought that up because I was talking to him once, and going off like what you were saying about why you wanted to organize Blackmore Media as opposed to just it's Tracey Schut and Tommy Blackmore. Because he was talking to me about why he has a business, Rush Hour Media, which is him and another guy.
Calvin. I don't mean I'm gonna butcher his last name, but I'm not gonna say it. But yeah, his name's Calvin. He shoots for Chris Bumstead.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, like 3-time Mr. Olympia.
Oh, I didn't know that about him. Actually.
He's in Ottawa. He's his videographer, so he travels everywhere with him.
Oh.
Yeah, so he's a big Gymshark guy, and just he's the best in the world, and he gets to film him.
Wow. Man, that's sick.
Yeah, I follow Calvin quite closely.
Yeah, I'll have to check him out more because that's definitely cool. I did not know that.
They're both fantastic. They make a great team.
They do, yeah. It's very inspirational checking out. Like they're just constantly like polluting with like all their insane content.
I know, because like I remember when I first started this whole video thing. I think it was 3 months in maybe, and I didn't even know how to offload my SD card. Like I just didn't know. I would just plug it in with the USB-C and just go at it. I didn't know what lens I had. I had a 24-70 G Master lens. I just put on the lens, and I was like, hey man, can I like come shadow you and shoot BTS? So he had a shoot with Lauren Stowe. She's an IFBB pro as well, like bodybuilder. So I went there and I didn't know a thing. I'm holding this camera, like nothing's right. I think I was shooting at 120 frames a second. Like it was just bad. And everything you don't do with BTS shoots, I did. Like you're supposed to film him shooting the behind the scenes. You're not supposed to film like a cinematic sequence.
He's filming.
Exactly. And I did that. I haven't been invited back since. So I want him to, if he ever listens to this, I just want him to know that like I'm better now. I know my do's and don'ts.
Yeah, KY, hire him, bring him back.
Yeah, like Kai, please.
Well, like where I was getting at with those, well, like he used this analogy I really like was, it was like, imagine if you're going in for brain surgery and you have one doctor. Like it may feel a little nerve wracking as opposed to if you had like several doctors. That was sort of like his reasoning. He said like why he started like Rush Hour Media. I thought that was like an interesting reason, just kind of like going off of what you said, like why you guys officially partnered up.
Right.
So
Anyway, that's like all I had to say about that.
But
Yeah.
Going back to like finding business in a smaller town, because like we're an hour and a half away from Peter McKinnon, and the Schiffers and all those guys. We're 30 minutes away from Jesse Driftwood, so it's like bigger brands with bigger budgets are obviously going to go that route because they know the names. So it's hard to be up there with them without creating a brand.
Yeah. Getting into kind of a deep topic. What would you say, at least, is for you guys as like being a couple and business partners? Like, how do you think that dynamic is like in like both professionally, personally?
Well, I remember when I think, have you guys heard of Chris Howe and Lizzie Pierce?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so
I've
Chris
heard
and
of
Lizzie,
her.
like, he told me about Lizzie, and I've just, like, I followed her and just love the stuff that she's doing as a female in this space. It's so cool. But I remember talking to Tom about it and saying, like, hey, you know, like, we could do that. Like, why not? Why couldn't we, right? We both want to do it full time. Why don't we just, like, work together? And he's like, oh, I know, I don't know. And he was a little bit iffy on it at first, but I was thinking like, okay, but up until this point, we've been doing all these shoots together. It's just not been like an official, you know, Blackmore Media thing. That's literally the only thing that would change. Is just the fact that we have a business title now. And yeah, so I don't know. I think like we work together really well. Mm-hmm. Like just in general in life. Like
I just hate giving. I hate giving constructive feedback.
yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So it's hard because you're just like, do I say? Because like from for a bigger backstory between us, we've had other relationships that we weren't really treated the best.
Yeah.
So like when an opinion's said, you're like waiting for like the backlash.
Yeah.
So like obviously now like we're like she's awesome, I'm pretty awesome myself, but giving like I gotta remember that she doesn't know as much as I do because like it's just time, right? You gotta spend all those hours. So I gotta like remember not to be snippy of like, how do you not know that yet, or things like that. Like, why wasn't it done this way? And her just like, I didn't know.
I think the nice thing about being a couple and working together is that I know, like, if I tell him something that I think, you know, an editing thing should be changed in a video, or he tells me something that I did that, you know, could be changed, or maybe for the next shoot we can do something a little bit differently, or, you know, whatever, constructive feedback with each other. There's that other layer of like trust that we have with each other that you don't necessarily have with a coworker, or like maybe other business partners might not have that. So we have that other like level of like intimacy where like I can say something to him and he knows that like I'm not approaching it as an attack. Like, it's, even if it comes out wrong or I say it incorrectly or whatever, he knows that like we both are trying to build each other up to be the best that we can be in life and in business. And so it's kind of cool just having that extra layer of security between us, just being able to like, you know, make each other as best as we can, I guess.
Yeah. What's if you guys were to give some people that are doing something similar to what you guys are doing any bit of advice, obviously being a couple and a business unit simultaneously, what would you say?
I think I know what I would say, but what would you say?
You go first. I have no idea.
Okay, so communication, obviously, in a relationship is extremely important. In a business relationship, it's even more important. And being able to separate it. Separate the business from your relationship. Yes, he's my boyfriend, but on a shoot, I don't act like he's my boyfriend. No, it's like we're not, you know, we're professionals about it. And when we're off for a weekend or we're on vacation, we're going to go away in a couple days. When we're away, we say, you know, okay, we're not going to do any business stuff. And like we have to specify those boundaries of like, okay, what does that mean? Well, we're going to talk, if I come up with an idea for our business, we're going to talk about it because I'll forget. But then we just won't act on it, or we won't message back our clients, or, you know, we won't edit a video or whatever at that time. So having those clear boundaries of like, I want to have this hour with Tom as my boyfriend and not my business partner and things like that. So I think communication and boundaries.
Totally.
Yeah. How about you, Tommy?
Do your best and don't be an asshole.
Well said.
We need to get like a T-shirt that says that.
Do your
and
best.
We'll have that in our merch lineup or something.
Live by that. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. That's all it is. Like, yeah, boundaries, 100% for sure. Because it's like, if I want to sit down and watch a movie, I don't want to talk about client stuff. Yeah. But when it comes, like she said, when it comes down to like ideas and not forgetting, yeah, talk that. We'll write some notes and just get on with our lives.
Yeah.
But yeah, and just remember, you guys both have different styles.
Yeah.
And yeah, basically, yeah.
Don't be an asshole.
Don't be an asshole.
Don't be an asshole.
Don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
For any of you who are listening, that's if you take anything away, just don't be an asshole.
Don't be
it.
And that's getting more scarce in the creative industry, I'm finding. Everyone's seeing each other as threats.
Yeah.
Rather than collaborators. I don't know how many times I've messaged people in other areas with me and all that stuff, or like, hey, I would love to like do collab with you. I'd love to shoot BTS for you. Yeah, cool, thanks, haha. And I'm like, I'm not gonna take business from you. I just want some more creative friends.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't understand what the competition is. I'm not gonna undercut you. Like, have some, like, come on, let's have some fun.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
There's no passion in the art anymore. It's a business. It sucks.
Yeah. And you'd think it'd be the other way around, especially seeing as how like networking is so important with regardless of what you do.
It's like the number one thing, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. everybody's so tight-assed, and it's like everything's a competition. That's an American thing. Maybe I just because that's at least something we say in the East Coast.
It's a Boston thing, all right?
Yeah, we say like, "Oh, he's such a tight ass," you know.
Oh, don't worry. There's a lot of Canadian slang too. Like, there's no A's or a boost. It's just like, just send it.
Yeah.
I don't really hear the Canadian accent, like whether it's like you or KY or even like McKinnon. I only hear it when I hear the word about. I hear a boot.
A boot?
You know?
Yeah.
That's really it, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't heard you guys say it, though.
I think it's because we're close, like we're the most southern part of Canada, right?
Yeah, when you go up higher, it's
Yeah. Even out west, like in Calgary and like Alberta and all of that, it's very, you can hear it.
Yeah. So you're I'm bad with geography. So you're a little more by Michigan, kind of.
Yeah. So we're like,
4 hours.
oh no, I would say like they're a 2-hour drive to the border.
From where?
To Niagara Falls.
Oh, that makes sense.
And then down to like Sarnia, Windsor, Detroit.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
We're about an hour and a half from Toronto.
We got to get up to Canada.
I want to get up to Canada.
Absolutely.
Would they let us in?
We're not even letting other Canadians back right
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Okay, so forget everything I just said.
Yeah.
now. It's Canada's cool. Where we are, it's nothing's really going on. Like, all the mountains and the beautiful landscapes are like out west. That's where you want to go. If you watch any of McKinnon's films, they're all out in Alberta. And I've never been on a plane before.
Really?
I was deprived as a child, so we have money set aside for plane tickets to Alberta, hopefully sometime in the spring.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but yeah, Canada's cool. It's not as chilly as you think. It's cold right now. How cold is it in Boston right now?
It's freezing.
It's freezing in Boston.
Yeah. It's like in the 20s out
Like
there right now, I'd say.
I don't know what that means.
25.
We actually like Chicago is called like the. Oh, what's up?
Oh, we're just confused.
I was like, I don't know what that means. We're Celsius.
We're Celsius.
Oh, that's right.
20 Fahrenheit.
So it's like
Conversion.
Again, this is the
Damn.
the culture shock we're both experiencing.
I'm so sorry. Okay.
we have like maple flavored confusion here.
Let me look that up. So I'm gonna try and just maybe give you guys an idea. So what's 20 degrees in Celsius? Let's give the conversion.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Okay, so it's saying so for you that would be 6.667 degrees Celsius.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's quite warm.
That's like shorts weather.
Wait, what?
Wait,
Am
what?
I doing this wrong? So 20 degrees
No,
Fahrenheit equals 6.667.
Yeah,
That's-
what is
that's
it? What's the temperature out right now here?
Wow, this must be so boring to listen to.
I know, just thinking like
Let's talk filmmakers and weather.
this will make a great snippet though for
So
social media.
minus
Yes.
for sure.
-4 Celsius. So what is that in Fahrenheit?
Oh my gosh.
How is that warm though? Like I'm freezing out.
I'm freezing too.
Yeah.
24.8 Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's free. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
like
that's
freeze.
cold.
That's like freezing.
Yeah,
But listen,
that's a mild winter for us.
Dude, it's gonna get to like -30.
oh my
Oh,
God! You see, we're Italians. We're used to those warm Venetian summers.
Yeah.
So that's why this is a total like.
It's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare
Yeah.
for us.
And tomorrow is as we're recording this, tomorrow is going to be the winter solstice, so it's going to
Yeah.
be the shortest day of the year. It'll be like sunset at like 4 o'clock.
Our winter when it gets probably the coldest, it will be -27.4 Fahrenheit.
Okay. Wait, sorry, say it again. When it's warmest? Or it's
Our
coldest?
coldest. So
Oh,
it's gonna
coldest.
be -35 for us, and it'll be basically -27 for you.
Oh, wow. Oh, negative. Oh, you said negative.
-25
Oh, my God.
Fahrenheit for you.
Oh, wow.
God bless. Wow. I don't know how you guys do that, but props.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
awesome though.
No, Boston is actually a lot colder than one outside may think.
Yeah.
1 year, cause so like Chicago is called the Windy City, but there was a couple years ago, it was almost a year ago, something like that. Boston had more wind than Chicago. And it was like sub below. Yeah, it was like really bad.
We do have a friend who's in Boston quite a bit. He's a NHL linesman.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you were telling me about him.
Yeah, so he's a ref, so he goes to Boston a lot. So I'm like, hey, when the restrictions come down, you want to go to Boston, can we stay for a couple days and we just peace out and go visit Mark and Johnny?
We'll podcast in person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Please come by.
We're like not even an hour outside Boston.
Yeah, you're telling me that, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a lot more laid back here as far as the pandemic goes. Like, there may be places that require you to wear a mask, but there's no like vaccine mandates really or anything like that.
We were like,
Oh boy.
Quebec shut down again today.
Oh my God.
Oh,
So we were vibing on like 1,000 cases a day. Then it went to 1,800. Now it's at 4,500 a day. So we're going back up there in the yeah. So like gyms are at 50% now, and you have to be fully vaccinated. Showing we have a little QR code now.
man.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Advanced.
So it looks like a BBM, like BlackBerry Messenger little barcode.
Oh, man.
So we have to scan in, show a piece of ID, then go.
Oof, man.
That's some like Star Trek.
Scary.
Yeah, and we like at my work, we have about 300 people, and we've had 23 cases in a week and a half. They shut the entire building down for a month.
Yeah.
Wow. Oof.
It's definitely, the cases are going up everywhere, and
lot.
unfortunately, I feel like this is going to be like a seasonal thing.
Yeah.
For this amount of cases, obviously.
Yeah.
But hopefully we can get back to some sense of normality.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because it's nuts. Because like if you want to go dine in Ontario, you have to be fully vaccinated.
Really?
Wow.
Wow. So like everything.
Even to sit in the food court in the mall.
Oh my
Wow.
God. Wow. Oof.
Jeez.
There's a. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, and like the premier of Ontario, like basically he lives in Toronto. He sets all the rules. And what was I gonna say? What did Dougie say?
When?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought. But he always comes out and he just mandates everything, and Ontario just gets pissed off. And what was I gonna say? I'll come back to me on that one.
We kind of get pissed off too when there's
Yeah.
mandates and everything like that. I'm not just saying like we individually. I'm just mean like the
America. Yeah.
We have a reputation for just getting pissed off. I guess so.
Yeehaw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting pissed off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Let's circle this back to filmmaking.
Yeah.
yeah, I was gonna just say like how is kind of like segue into that. So like, well, I was gonna say like we're in a better place than last year, but because of all the cases, you said we're kind of not. But how has like business been as far as like do you feel like you're growing and you're like getting more headway, like both with maybe your own individual stuff with Blackmore Media as far as like clientele and the projects you want with everything, all the nonsense going on?
Yeah, I think so.
Winter's always slow because like even like say like drone shots. I love flying my drone, but there's no leaves on the trees. There's rarely ever a sunset anymore. It's just like, so you can't do drone shots, and like weddings aren't really happening.
Yeah.
So it's like
In the winter.
in the wintertime.
Real estate. Yeah.
Exactly. I don't really like real estate.
Yeah.
Like that's my least favorite because like I had someone bail on a job for me when I said no to for $150 Canadian.
Yeah, Canadian.
Canadian. We have to establish that. Canadian.
I'm like
Like the currency counter.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll put that in perspective. Like she wanted to charge me like she wanted to pay $150. I'm like, no, I can't do that. So that's $115 for you guys.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
So for a whole.
Would you do like a 5-hour real estate shoot for $115?
Oh,
Didn't think so. Didn't think
No.
so.
I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, like, we want to get into weddings, so we did a couple weddings this year. I did.
That was fun.
Yeah.
They looked beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Loved it.
seriously.
So yeah, it's like kind of the ball is rolling from that. Like we've had a couple of referrals from the first wedding that we did, and then the second wedding we've got a couple more. And especially like the pandemic has really caused people to. There's so many more weddings happening, right? Because all the weddings from 2020 delayed until 2021, so it's like double the amount. So getting into the wedding market right now is really lucrative, we're finding. So yeah, we're slowly building up the number of weddings we have next year. And then yeah, just like trying to like branch into the business market and kind of getting those like branding, promotional materials like for businesses with their videos or photos or things like that. But yeah, it's sometimes you find like, I don't have any leads, nobody's messaged me or whatever. And so I find in like those times, that's the perfect time for us to be like working on our, like the building of the business, our back end materials and making the client experience even better. And then, once we get all those, I feel like once one door opens, like they all start opening. It's kind of like a chain of events. Like we'll have one person message us and then like a drought. And then a whole bunch of people just all at the same time are like, oh, we need this, we need this, we need this. And it, honestly, it's word of mouth that we're getting the most connections with. So
I was just going to say, it's got to be a referral business, at least for that.
I can second that for sure. Like no business I've had really since I started this and actually started making money from it was from sales. It was like all from like word of mouth because I was building my portfolio, doing stuff for free. And those people either hired me back or they had a friend or they got called by whatever it may be. I was like referred. So it really is. And it is all a snowball effect. And like you said, it all just weirdly, coincidentally all happens at once. And it's like a rain or drought kind of thing, like you said. And I even kind of had a recent kind of experience like this too. So like I had COVID recently and I was quarantined. I wasn't even feeling good to like do any editing or anything like that. But once I got out of it, just coincidentally, like people were calling me up again left and right. So it's just funny how it does that,
Another reason not to brag or anything.
Yeah, no, I don't want to.
Just Mark flexing on all of us. I beat COVID and got business.
No, that's the last thing I want to do is brag and whatnot. Because
I was sick and now I have all this.
Well, we're glad you're alive still.
Thank you. Yeah. Smell's not quite back yet, but it's getting there. Yeah. Everything else.
Johnny didn't have to wear deodorant today.
I could never do that. I think I'd
You can never put deodorant on?
No, what I'm saying is I'd have to always. If I don't wear deodorant, then I'm killing myself here. Like, I hate that. That's one of my I can't.
Yeah, personal. You gotta look good, feel good, to do good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's 100%. Another. I like to start taking notes. We need to.
Yeah, we need to. This guy's.
He drops these little pearls of wisdom every once in a while.
Yeah.
What? Tom, the check's in the mail.
Is it in American or Canadian?
Oh, see, here we go.
No, I learned I used to be a very shy guy and not talk to anyone. Like, I never talked to any girls. I would do nothing. But I did go into sales as well. Like, I sold life insurance for 9 months. That sucked. I am not for that. So I got out after that, but like the sales books and the sales training and learning how to do rebuttals and being quick on your feet has been really helpful, especially when you're trying to snag a girl.
It definitely
worked.
Both ways. Yeah.
Yeah, I would recommend everyone do some sort of sales training.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Like, it's been awesome.
Yeah.
He'll get you going on
Yeah,
sales.
I'll get you going. I'm in sales now, actually. Like, I've started in a really crappy business, and now I'm actually in the alcohol industry. So it's no, it really is, Tom. You totally have a point with like sales. Really is like a testament to life. Like,
Oh, really? For real though.
It's like anything you want to approach, you can literally use like a sales cycle with it. You know, like especially with like learning how to, you know, like cope with rejection, because of course, like sales is ebbs and flows.
It's a numbers game.
It's a numbers game, you know, and it's all about, you know, giving yourself more opportunities to close, like getting more prospects. So I would totally agree with you. That's really well put.
And yeah, for sales, it's always doing your ABCs. Always be closing. Like
Totally.
And even if you don't want to be in sales, like everyone is in sales. Like a mother has to sell their kid on eating vegetables and why that's good for them. And like everything's a sale. Like if you want a spouse, you gotta keep selling them yourself. Then make sure that you're worth staying with. So everyone's a salesperson in their own mind.
Right. At the end of the day, we're just creating value for people. And
Well, that was super salesy.
on that note, I'm gonna let Mark talk now.
He is like this guy, freaking total salesman. He's like, we're like going clothes shopping, and he's like trying to sell me on this. He's like, dude, you gotta get this. This is hot. You need a white pair of Vans and a black pair of Converse. And I'm like,
You can dress them up with anything.
Yeah, I
He's
can
like-
tell by like the leather, the gelled hair, the rings.
yeah, we're a couple
as if
misfits.
we couldn't be any more stereotypical.
Yeah, we're a
You
couple.
know, like, would you guess my brother's name is Dante?
Yeah, when he told me that what your name was, I'm like, I'll call him Johnny.
Yeah. Well, that's what people do, because people take one look at my name and they try to take a gander at pronouncing it, and they're just like, yeah, we're just gonna call you Johnny.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Yeah. That's also another sales thing too, because as soon as you see someone, you look for things to have in common. Like as soon as we went on this podcast, I noticed what you guys are wearing, what you're like, where you are, and all that stuff. You're always kind of like trying to build that rapport, even though we don't need to because we're already buddies. But
absolutely.
But that's another thing for if you go prospecting for clients. You always gotta find common ground somehow.
Power of observation.
Power of observation.
Totally.
What book did you read that from?
I actually was just, honestly, I started out, like I was saying, like selling renewable energy contracts in Boston. And I got to tell you, like, it was I hated it. But
I don't blame you.
but they really, what I got from that is the sales training, like you were saying, was super, super informative. And they were just like, you know, they would teach us like all these like tactics and stuff like that, and really give you like a good baseline for how to succeed regardless of what you're selling. So yeah, I still, as much as I told him this before, and I've said on the show, as much as I really like disliked that job, like I still use like, you know, power of observation when I'm walking into an on or off premise account when I'm selling alcohol, you know? So it's like, it really, I agree. Like everybody really should take like some sales training and apply it to their own lives somehow.
I've read a lot of Grant Cardone books.
Grant
Grant
Cardone?
Cardone,
Yeah. Yep.
No, I don't follow him anymore, but like the Jordan Belforts, all that. The big thing when I was in the financial services industry, we always had a group of people, and we always played the questions game, where it's like you have a conversation with someone, but only questions.
Right.
If you don't respond with the question, you lose, or if you repeat the question, you lose, or if you go out of topic, you lose.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also it's also a great training exercise for your future employees in the alcohol industry.
Totally.
The Wolf of Wall Street, but alcohol.
Yeah.
We got to watch that movie again.
It's such a
I
great
love that
movie.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, we watched it together.
Oh yeah.
The first 5 minutes of that movie.
All Scorsese is just amazing.
Absolutely.
He's my favorite filmmaker. He's the reason I got into this.
Yep.
Yeah. I saw Wolf of Wall Street first time I saw it was in the theaters with my dad. Sitting next to him for 3 hours with all that stuff.
Especially
in
the
the
first
movie
5
going.
minutes.
Yeah. We didn't talk like basically from the movie until like we got out of the theater and we're in the car. He was still like quiet and his buddy called him up and it's just like I just hear him talking. I can't hear the guy on the other end, but I just hear him go like, "Yeah, I took my son to see Wolf of Wall Street," and man, I got preface saying he was once a stockbroker. So he's like, "Yeah, I took my son to see Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah, reminds me of when we were back in the day when we were brokers."
So that Quaalude scene.
I legit had a conversation with him and I asked him like, "Dad, were you doing like Quaalude? Was it like that in your office?" And he was like, "No, I mean, like he wasn't on Wall Street. He was a broker though, but he was like, no, we were just doing drinking games, all that stuff. It wasn't that crazy, but." I don't know if he's telling the truth.
We had a bottle of scotch on hand near our
Little
desk
did
at
you
all
know he's
times.
doing blow with Matthew McConaughey.
I mean, it was the 80s, so.
Decade of decadence.
Yeah. So, yeah. You know what they say? If you remember the 80s, you weren't really there.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't there, but
Yeah. No.
none of us were. So what are we talking about?
That's a good point.
Some people say that we're old now. The 90s.
The 90s.
Yeah. The 90s were great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we keep this going, or do you want to wrap it up? What do you want to do?
Are you not the host? Your mom made you the host.
Nailed it. You got me.
What's the best part of your career?
Pardon?
What's the best part of your career? Like, what is that, like, just that motivator for you guys? Like, I guess that's a better question. Like, what motivates each of you respectfully?
Yeah.
Meeting guys like you.
Oh, wonderful.
I'm turning red, Tom.
Just wait till you edit. Like I am. You might have to take the saturation out of my face. I like making people cry. But in a good way though. When for instance, our first wedding that we did was an amazing couple. When they were doing all their mingling, we weren't really shooting anything. So we went to charge our batteries and all that stuff. And as Tracey laid on the floor, like, after her feet are so sore because she was wearing heels and all that jazz. But I just got to do. This is also another tip for other filmmakers that are listening that like go above and beyond. This was a free wedding, but so I offloaded one point of the wedding that I knew was a good shot. It was the dip, and I shot it all in 60 frames a second. So I did an edit, slowed it down, it had the speed ramps, had the music, just a quick 10-second trailer, just like him. The first kiss, leaning in for the kiss, give him the dip to some like the drop of the music, then walking down the aisle. It took me like 10 minutes to do, because Final Cut Pro is actually fast, and it didn't crash on me. But I was able to like airdrop that to my phone, run outside, show the bride, show the groom, show the mom, all that stuff, and like just seeing their reaction just by that 5 minutes of work, and they didn't really care about anything else in that wedding, and they're like, this video is sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
So yeah, that's I love seeing someone's emotion and be like, I created something to make you cry.
I love that.
Right. Yeah.
That's so cool.
That is powerful.
Totally.
What about you?
I would say it's very similar to that.
Can't copy.
It's so actually the feeling that I thought I would get from being a social worker, and the reason I wanted to get into social work was to help people, right? To make people's lives better, and not to go in and save the day and be like, "Woohoo, look at me." But it was more like I'm a very giving person, and I like to I make sure that everyone else in the room is taken care of before me, and I'm very aware of other people's emotions at all times. And so I thought, oh, okay, well, social work, like, obviously that, you know, you go into that profession to literally to help people. And I found like I did have rewarding days, and it's, you know, I still do sometimes. But I was finding like I was burning out faster than I was able to like I was giving more than I was getting, essentially. And then I don't know, I picked up a camera and I just started like eating, sleeping, and breathing content. Like, I have never had something that has like completely engulfed my life. Like, I lay awake at night thinking about it. I always constantly want to be like getting better and better and better and better, and thinking about different ways to grow. And like my brain is like, it's just not stopping. Like, I could just keep thinking about all these new ideas all the time for the business. And there was one time, so there's one family that owns, or they owned, I guess, they sold it, a golf course here in town. They actually, yes, the Woodstock Meadows. We're repping today. So yeah, I grew up going golfing with my dad, and then he was diagnosed with Parkinson's. He couldn't go golfing anymore. And I've still like always loved golfing. You know, we've gone out and gone golfing and stuff, and Tom actually partnered with them and started flying like his drone there and taking photos and videos for them, and just like building this relationship. And it was all, you know, we always did free content and everything for them, just because they're a fabulous family, and they do so much for our community, and we just like genuinely love them. So we, on their very last day, they ended up selling the land to a housing development, and it was time. Like, you know, they'd had, I don't know, 25 years in business or something like that. They were like ready to retire, so they sold. And on their very last day, for their very last hole, like they had their very final round of golf. The mom, the dad, and the two daughters and one daughter's husband. So it was just like their little family playing golf, and we got to spend the time and record that for them. And we just like, we said, hey, you know, we want to do this for you. Nothing like, we don't want anything from it. We just want to give you something to remember it by. So he did a video, I took photos of it, and it was so much fun, just like building this relationship with them. And then we had a viewing party. So we had pizza, and we all went over to their house, and we were watching it with them, and just like giving that gift, that irreplaceable gift, and having like seeing their reaction, and just like, you know, there was tears, and like just giving them something that they can look back on for years to come. All of these memories in ways that, like, you know, they may not ever have noticed or experienced, because we have like that outside perspective of like having our cameras, and we see these moments. I don't know, there was just something in that moment that I was like, this is that feeling that I've been chasing with social work.
Right.
And so, yeah, like we left, and I was in tears, and I was telling Tom like, oh my God, this was the moment that I was like, okay, I have to do this. That's the feeling that I've been wanting. So
Yeah.
Wow. That's some story. That's really inspirational.
It is.
Hear that you found your calling like that. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
And I always thought I already found it, but I guess I didn't.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's great. Like, that's super relatable. I mean, especially hearing both of you guys, because I think, like, I'm in music, actually. Like, that's my thing. I'm not a filmmaker at all. Like, I appreciate film very much. Like, Mark turns me on to all these great filmmakers, and, you know, obviously Scorsese and all that.
he turns me on to all the great music.
But he vice versa.
go.
Like, he's a big
Yeah.
music guy. But
Yeah, love music.
but going back to what I was saying, like, the biggest compliment, like, regardless of what you're doing, you know, I'm just speaking from a musician standpoint, like, is evoking that emotion from somebody. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, when I, you know, it just, from when you put on Spotify, or you hear a song that, you know, that you really like, you know, you get those chills. You know, it makes you feel happy, makes you feel sad, makes you feel pissed off, what have you. That really is true. Like, if it can evoke that kind of emotion, and you can elicit that type of response from somebody with a film, with with a song, that really is the greatest compliment.
Absolutely.
Yeah, something you created.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no feeling like that. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, wow. It's
Damn,
it
we
sure
just
is
got
really tough.
super deep there.
No, I'm glad we did, because it's definitely, well, because the original question was like, you asked like what motivates you.
Yeah.
And that's like what it comes down to, are those like things of like whether it's making people cry or making them feel inspired, and then like along with that it's like finding your true, or being, whether it's finding your true calling like Tracey said you did, or if you're already in it and you're just kind of reaffirming that,
Right.
there's all like so much power in it, for sure.
It's good to remember those moments too, because there's so many times where you just don't want to do it anymore. You're like, what's the point? You're burnt out. You're like, you feel like you're just creating garbage, and you just got to remember, like, someone thinks of you that way, as like you got a superpower.
Yeah, right.
And it's like, you're just like, oh, I'm doing all the same stuff. I feel like I'm just producing shit work, but you got to remember that you're better than you think. Imposter syndrome sucks.
It's real.
I fight imposter syndrome. I'll be fully honest with you. I fight it daily. Like,
Me too.
I'm like, I just like look at my videos and I'm like, I don't like even things like gain or like exposure. Even sometimes I'm like, I don't get it right sometimes. And I'm like, oh, look at Tommy and Tracey killing it. I'm not like posting that much on it. No, I'm dead serious. Like, I will like look at you guys. I'm like, wow, they're posting so much content out there. They're clearly like, killing it. I'm like not sharing that much of my work or whatever, because I don't do a ton of projects each month or whatever. But that's just went on a different tangent. But it is real, and I think it's like we kind of do. Like, are you like that too, where you compare yourselves to other creators? Like,
dude, like I said, we're an hour and a half away from Peter McKinnon. Yeah. And like, you see everything that he does and you're just like, I suck. Or you look at Sam Colder, like you have, everyone sees these Canadian filmmakers that are like, oh, they're amazing. And I'm like, I'm shit. Like how, like you see a transition from Sam Colder or Jesse Driftwood and you're like, I don't know how he did that, so I suck.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know After Effects. I think I'm a failure.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm just, I'll look at a video that I think that's really good. I'm like, how did I fumble my way through that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I want to start doing more on YouTube. I'm like, do I know what I'm talking about?
I know that.
Right.
Like, am I more experienced enough to do a tutorial? Am I going to get called out in the comment section? Am I going to be able to answer these questions?
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
That literally, I was just gonna say that's a perfect segue. Like, there's a book Mark and I talk about all the time called The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. And he literally, totally recommend that, just to, regardless of what you're doing. But basically this guy says, like, it's a good sign if you're continually questioning, like, oh, am I really a videographer? Am I really a musician? Am I really a salesperson? Because that's an even bigger indicator that you have to do it and you have to pursue that. So, yeah, like, no, I totally feel, I get the imposter syndrome all the time too. It's like, oh, like, I just wrote a really shitty song right now, or I just, or did, same jazz, really. So,
I find writing helps a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know, because you said you do work for a church. I don't know if you guys are of faith, if you're religious, but we are pretty, I don't say we're total, like, religious, but we have a faith, and that helps a lot. Just, like, constantly having to, reaffirm these things to you, like, talk to yourself.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah. It's like, it's something that needs to be fought anew every day, because those voices are always going to pop up in your head and, tell you that you're not good or whatever. And sometimes there's like reason behind it to be like logistically like, okay, maybe I need to improve on this or whatever, but it's not like you actually suck. You're just, but that's kind of how you perceive it as, because you're always your own worst critic. You're never your audience,
Right.
And I think just having that kind of perception kind of it can free you from all that distress, I'd say.
Totally.
So
Yeah, I feel you there because like, yeah, we are like she grew up in we don't say religious, we say a faith-based home.
I like that.
Yeah.
My thing is like, I love Jesus, but I cuss little.
I'm the same way.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
That's my thing because like I walk into church and be like, yo, it's JC and the boys. Like,
Love it.
I like kind of like a Christian who makes fun of other Christians. It's kind of weird. But yeah, that's the thing. It's like it's your God-given abilities, and you gotta trust on that. Because I grew up thinking, I'm like, what the hell am I gonna do with my life? I don't want to weld forever. Like that's like, what's that for? Then getting into video, then getting into the church, and just being around these lights and these cameras, and these people who've been in the industry for years. They worked with guys like McKinnon and all that stuff. I'm like, okay, I got some. I need to learn from these guys and just.
I feel like that's like a whole other podcast topic, like the mentorship and like getting over imposter syndrome by like having these mentors and like learning from other people. Like we've got a lot of mentors.
We should definitely do another episode together. We should.
Yeah,
we could
you
talk
guys should
about
hop
that.
on.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Come down, and meet us if you can leave Canada. Come down.
If the government will let us.
If we're out of like being grounded, we'll definitely come see you. Because like we've gone through 3 lockdowns now where we're not allowed to do anything.
Yeah.
Like the first little bit, you were like, no, you weren't even allowed to leave your house.
Wow.
Then gyms were closed, everything was closed. Like I think was it like McDonald's was closed even?
Yeah, like the inside. Yeah, you could only do the drive-through.
No.
That's blasphemy.
No Mickey D's for the boys. Like
Wow.
The 3 a.m. McFlurries.
No.
It's true.
because my thing is like I need the gym, and I need basketball. Like I love play like. I don't follow the players or watch NBA, but I need that. And I think we're going to get locked down again. And we just started playing basketball. Then we're going to have to close it again. And
Yeah.
Damn.
But we'll podcast in person one day.
Yeah, totally.
For sure. Yeah.
Well, I hope it works out for you guys. You know, it's
I really hope so too.
best wishes for that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the lighter note, like I will say, I mean, I truly am inspired by like seeing what you guys do every day. I really admire what you guys. I just like by hearing your story, I admire the fact that neither of you started like in this industry, like knowing that it was you wanted to do. You all came from, I think, pretty humble backgrounds, which is so cool. And you guys clearly demonstrate that you have a real hunger for what you do and a real deep desire, and it's truly sincere. And I just know, like, you guys are gonna launch. You guys are gonna get up to McKinnon level. I know it. You guys are gonna be. I'm not saying that to blow smoke up your ass. I really think like you can get up to that Chris Howe, Lizzie Pierce kind of dynamic to that level.
well, some funny stories on that. Like she actually, my buddy who lives in Brockville, I'll say his name. Yeah, his name's Mitch Beatty. So he's a great guy. We didn't really know each other that much. I'm just like, hey, you're friends with Chris Howe. Would you be able to organize a birthday shout out for Tracey from Lizzie? So Lizzie actually sent a video of just saying happy birthday to Tracey, and Chris is on it. Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah.
And there's some things that can be in the works in a couple weeks or in a month that I'm not going to say on the podcast, but I will tell you guys. But yeah, I would love to get to that level because I'm always vibing with this thing in my pocket like all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Put up to the camera so people can see.
Peter McKinnon coin.
Love it.
Wow.
Yeah, because we do have a buddy who is good buddies with him and very close to meeting that guy.
Yeah.
But try not to fangirl too much. But on that
Peter
note,
McKinnon has on rings too, right?
He's partnered with Clocks and Colors. I
Yeah,
think.
I was gonna say that's right.
yeah, if you want a $300 Canadian ring, go be my guest.
It's a nice ring.
Yeah.
Everything that guy touches is expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to get to that level so badly.
Yeah, you'd come up with some swaggy hats too, with like Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh,
Totally.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Have you had his coffee before, the owl? Yeah.
I wasn't a huge fan because I don't like fruit in my coffee. Because like he has like what, raspberries or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a blend of, and I think there's like a kind of fruity.
Yeah, there's a raspberry like tang to it, and I wasn't a fan of that.
I loved it. I
But
thought
yeah,
it was great.
she thought it was great. But the thing is, like, we had to pay for like shipping and like duties too. So like that was a very expensive order.
Wow. Do you guys drink your coffee black? Like, how do you take it?
Just a little bit of milk for me. He's not sweet enough, so he needs a lot of sugar in it.
So for Canadians, we have terms. We have a regular, which is one coffee, one sugar, one cream. Then we have a double.
Yeah, we have that.
Yeah, we got regular.
Then we have a double.
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 Yeah, that's 2 creams, 2 sugar. Then we have a triple. So you're getting pretty crazy. And then you got a 4x4.
Wow.
This is nuts.
I'm not sure if you guys know who the hockey player Wayne Gretzky is.
Of course.
Yeah.
So people call it a Wayne Gretzky as a 9x9.
Does he actually drink his coffee that way?
No. No, so like I drink a double with sweetener instead of sugar.
Gotcha.
So pretty hefty up there, but like mainly pre-workout in the morning when I go to the gym. That's then a coffee in the
Caffeine.
afternoon.
Yeah.
So, for the record, if I went to Tim Hortons up there and was like, "Can I get a Gretzky?" Would they know what the hell I'm talking about?
They'll be
Probably.
you're a psychopath, but here you go. You got this very just cold cup of cream, basically.
Oh my god! Wow.
I remember because one of my, high school jobs, I worked at Dunkin' Donuts, and there was this one lady that would come in every now and then. She would order. She would get a large iced coffee, and she would get 4 pumps of the Rocky Road, 4 pumps of the caramel swirl, 4 pumps of the cookie dough
Oh my
swirl.
god! I'm already getting diabetes.
So that's like, what is that? That's like 12 pumps of just sugar. Yeah.
Yeah. Did she order a triple bypass too? Or?
It's something about those little old ladies.
Maybe
though.
some
Like,
ambulance backup?
My first high school job was McDonald's.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So I put 3 years in the Golden Arches.
Nice. The Golden Arch.
The Golden Arches.
There was like a Walmart location in Woodstock, and I would take this lady's order around, it's probably like 8:30 every day. She wanted a small coffee with just half cream. And anyone who's in the service industry knows that like it's a button now. So it's like you press the button, so you let it fill up half, and you just take it away, and you just let everything else spill. But like, there's also a person that ordered a small coffee and 6 creams.
Wow.
Then was pissed. That was mad that it was cold.
Wow.
There's more cream than coffee in that. Wow.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. Endless customer service.
Customer
stories,
types.
I'll tell you that.
God bless sales, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amen to that.
For real.
Cool.
What an eventful episode of this podcast.
Yeah, we talked about a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's kind of what I wanted to get going. I mean, we had like the main topics of that, kind of like what I wanted to talk about with you guys, which was like being in a relationship and business partners. But I also want to keep it Joe Rogan style too, where we kind of derailed it, and talk about
It keeps it fun.
This podcast.
what's that?
Good luck naming the episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll think back and I'll listen back to this episode and I'll think of something cool.
Try not to take as long as your gym edit.
Yeah. Oh.
We always joke around because, like, obviously, we're all perfectionists. We all want it to be the best we can be. But it's so funny because you'll see Mark post on his stories of like,
Coming soon.
coming soon, editing away, and it's still like the same
Hanging on,
project.
we're waiting.
Yeah.
All he did was just highlight all the clips and just label them different colors so they're all.
Yeah. No, that is a good point though. I do kind of like, I don't know. This is bad, but I guess I'm not just so like IG savvy when it comes to like, like I still haven't figured out like my voice as far as like yeah, this project is taking a lot, but I also feel like I gotta like just put something out there just to, you know, keep the stories going. And I'm like,
Right.
well,
That's what we do. Because not to branch it too far, because we did have a coaching call with Tapa Hapoya,
oh, okay, yeah.
like Maddie's brother, and he said that like your life may be boring to you, but it's exciting for someone else. Because like I think my life's boring as so boring, but people I'll post a story and be like, wow, that's so cool. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So and like for us, like don't think you have to keep up with how much we're posting on Instagram. We just batch shoot like a whole bunch of things and then just slowly post them away. And like you take a screenshot of your video and like no one knows that, just post it. And I always gotta remind her is done is better than perfect.
Yeah. I have a little sticker on my monitor.
I should get one of those.
And on my monitor it just says stay creamy.
Stay creamy.
Dude, I love
That's the name of the episode. Stay creamy.
Stay creamy. And don't be an asshole.
Yeah,
Don't be an asshole.
Stay creamy. Don't be an asshole.
I gotta click on this.
Yeah, or just the roast of Mark Aiello.
The guy who changes his name on Instagram so many times.
I did, yeah, I was.
You got the name back.
I did, well, because I had a
I told
an
you.
old. You did, you did tell me. That's right. Because I had an old. It was like a personal profile that was just like my name because I made that account like right when Instagram basically dropped. And then I created this other account where I was posting all like my filmmaking stuff. But I'm like, this is like my main account now. Like I don't use that other one anymore. So I want my name for that because I'm Mark Aiello and this is my thing here. And I also, you know, I want to incorporate kind of more personal life stuff in there too, you know, fun stuff. It doesn't have to all be filmmaking. And I wanted that name back. So I changed my account name to something else. And then I had to wait a couple weeks, but I got my name back. So in the meantime, yeah, I was just constantly changing my name a bunch, like you said.
I'm happy you got it back, dude.
Thank you.
So do I. And yeah, because people want you. They don't really want your brand.
Right.
Because like, yeah, I remember you had that poll up. Should I keep my name or should I go IO Films? I'm like, name. Keep your name.
Yeah. Name. Exactly. Yeah. No, you were right about that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pat on the back. Pat on Tommy's back.
Don't be an asshole.
Don't be an asshole and stay creamy.
Sit down, be humble. Yeah. Yeah, I think we have a lot more to discuss in future podcasts, so we don't give too much away.
Definitely.
Totally. No, yeah, we got to do this again.
Yes.
Yeah.
If things don't open up, we can just do another Zoom call. Next time I'll host it. I won't use my mom's email address.
Yeah, all right.
Call him back up
Mom's
from.
a lovely lady.
Mom, can we please do a Zoom call later today, please?
Mom, I'm busy.
And but if things do open up, then great. We gotta get you in person.
Yeah, totally.
There's cheap flights to Boston.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Totally.
for sure.
Come during the springtime when all the duck boats are out. The duck boats are crazy.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of cool little attractions in Boston you get to see.
You can basically take these tours in these like World War II style landing crafts in the Boston and like the Charles River, and it's the best time.
Yeah.
Cool.
Dude, our mascot in Woodstock is a cow.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, we have a big
cool?
cow statue.
We have a cow statue, and that's it.
I think that's cool.
That's cool.
A cow is a cool mascot.
Yeah.
I think
everyone
that's
else
cool.
Thinks that our life is cool.
It's
but
stupid.
It's original.
We have a festival called Cowapalooza.
That's dope.
Do you really?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, we gotta go to Canada.
Cowpalooza, man.
I want to go to
They have like
Cowpalooza and
They have like a rip off Elvis and a rip off like friggin' Woodstock.
I mean, look, I love Elvis. I share a birthday with him.
You share
and
a haircut with him too.
What's that?
And you share a haircut with him too.
I do share a haircut with him. I do.
Does.
I wanted to be Elvis when I was younger, but No, I love Elvis, and I think cows are awesome mascots. So I'm coming to Ontario.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on. We'll give you a tour. It'll take half an hour.
If we're allowed.
If we're allowed.
If we're
right.
allowed.
It's the big if I keep forgetting.
Wonderful. Cool.
So.
Well, like I said, you guys inspire me every day from seeing the amazing content that you guys post up there. And like I said, the fact that you two are such a great couple and obviously great business partners. You guys, like we talked about, you know how to have good boundaries, and you stay professional. But you guys just seem like you have like a great chemistry just talking to you here today. And no, just keep it up. I'm like I said, it's freaking really inspiring to see this all play out.
Absolutely.
So,
Thanks, guys.
yeah.
Well, this was fun. I can't wait to do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Great to have you guys
super
on.
excited. Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
And,
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And we'll talk soon, I guess.
Happy New Year.
Yeah. Happy New Year. Peace out.